All we have on this page is some excerpts from home videos that I've done and have made. I've been in the photography business for many, many years. It was a hobby, not a business. I'm 94 now, so I did photography since World War II when I managed to come home with a German camera. All the Leicas had been looted before I got to them, so I traded a German radio for the camera. So over the years, I've kept my pictures, of course. So anyway, I've been married for 93 years, for, well, for 73 years with Kay. In February this coming year, it'll be 74 years. About 10, 11 years ago, she developed dementia, and finally it came to the stage where I couldn't take it all myself, so we found this nice place in Tacoma called Cascade Gardens, and she's there now. For the past 2.5 years, I've gone to see her every day, except for an occasional miss when I had maybe a cold or something like that and didn't want to spread it around. And before she got this way, we used to occasionally talk to each other and see which was going to die first. And we're still here, but I think she's going to outlive me. But this contact with her is very important. Many people, at least even the people in the business, think that to put someone away in a home like this and just abandon them essentially, that they will die of a broken heart. To keep that from happening, I decided I would see her as much as I could, and also to be sure that I took care of her to the best of my ability and made sure that anyone else doing it did the same. So I've been visiting her, and now I went to the stage where I'd like to visit her twice a day. We need, I don't want to use the methods I've got, which is the shuttle. It takes all morning just to go over there and stay maybe an hour, hour and a quarter. And also what we're going to need, she has had this Barrett's esophagus for many years. She can't talk, so only through my ability to knowing her do I know when she's even hurting, and the caregivers, nurses and doctors would never know because she can't talk. I can talk to her, I can ask her, do you hurt? And you can usually figure out where she may hurt. And this Barrett's esophagus is extremely dangerous because a high percentage of people with it develop cancer in the throat. You've heard of many people who die of throat cancer. Well, that's essentially what it is. So I want to stay with her, visit her twice a day, and I need a little financial help in doing that. And I want to send you the complete video, if you will, even if you don't make a contribution. If you contact me, I'll send you the video. Although you might pay for the cost of the postage. So, but when you see that will come with the complete video, I will include it in there and not here. The second thing that the money will go for will be an adjustable bed. We need a bed to keep this acid reflux from getting up into her esophagus and creating this lining that, like they have in the intestines, which is susceptible to cancer. And these adjustable beds are very expensive. So that is just as important as going over to see her twice a day. This is the some parts out of one of my videos of family life, and we got married at 19 in Seattle. About a year later, Pearl Harbor happened, and of course, well, that's the history in that respect. All this section here will have music. Because of copyright restrictions, I can't put the music on here, but the videos I send you will have the music to make your listening more pleasant, enjoyable, I hope. This I'm kind of proud of. I think it kind of gives a good description of what I think of her. And 5 days after Pearl Harbor, or 5 days before Pearl Harbor, I should say, my daughter Diane was born. And of course that kept me out of the war for a long time. We lived most of her life in or around Seattle. She was born in Seattle. We lived in some of the suburbs. On my blog, I keep a daily record pretty much of what goes on with Kay, how she's getting along, and anything else I want to comment on. You can find out a lot about us by going to my blog, which is at seniorobserver.blogspot.com, and I keep this daily record. I post how she was, how she's getting along, and any other thing that I want to comment on. I occasionally will post some article, but mainly it is to show how she is getting along. I want to go over and see her in the afternoons too. I take up my whole morning almost going in the morning because these shuttles are so slow. A very important part of this fund will be to purchase an adjustable bed. She has Barrett's esophagus, and there is a high percentage of people with this disease get cancer of the throat. Now you hear quite a bit about people dying of cancer of the throat. So that's because of this Barrett's esophagus. So we need to get that bed to keep her head elevated and also to bring her feet up. So just a simple couple pillows under the head won't do the job. So it takes one of these expensive beds. What is so bad about this dementia? In her case, she can't talk. A lot of people can talk, but they don't make any sense. But she can't talk. So when she hurts, she can't tell me. So I have to try to figure out. The caregivers, they don't care enough or look carefully enough. They might care enough if they knew, but I've never seen one yet that they looked at her good enough hard enough to know if she was hurting. So we need this bed very badly. And I need to keep going over to see her. Here I am after getting out of the hospital